Picks and Bets, presented by Prize Picks on the Mayo Media Network. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell. We're here to break down two games on this Tuesday slate. So DJ, how you doing on Monday? You know, you got a nice light slate ahead of us. How you feeling coming into things?
Well, as you may see from my jersey, terrible, very bad. Wearing a Sabres jersey as I am known to do, and it's a sad time. We're mourning the loss of the entire, I guess, good Sabres that are left, and Jack Eichel and potentially Sam Reinhart. Yeah, no, it's not going great. It's literally everyone's on like the house on fire, and like I'm for a bit. I don't know. So yeah, not a good Monday.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's weird because the season's over for, some of the teams, over for even more teams on Monday. I think there were 9 games going on Monday. And now we're really sort of doing this weird thing where we're dealing with the locker cleanouts sort of, and we're also dealing with teams, jamming in as many games as possible. Like we have Vancouver, Winnipeg here, playing 5 games in 7 days while the rest of the league basically is just sitting on their sofas. Yep. It's really a mess, but it is miraculous we've gotten to this point, and that it seems like, before Saturday night's puck drop in, the first round of the playoffs, that we will actually get all of these games in for every NHL team, which is something I'm not sure many people would have said coming into the season, was a possibility, and certainly not during the season with all the outbreaks and things like that. So, I don't really know how much there is to say about the rest of the weekend. I had a couple real close sweats. I had one of the worst beats I've ever had in my entire life on Saturday. I'm still a little salty about it. And basically I was drawing dead. So I swapped off of Riley Smith because I had McDavid. So I was like, I'm not winning anything because everyone's going to have Draisaitl. And I would have won the 3 stars in qualifier. I would have won everything on DraftKings. And I just played a Colorado Onslaught instead because I was like, I'm not doing anything because I had 3 zeros in my lineup. And that was it. That's from the 7:00 games. So it was just madness. But otherwise, I had a good weekend and, so far a good Monday, and looking forward to a nice little 2-gamer. So anything else before we get into things, DJ?
No, I had a close call on Sunday because I last second swapped off to Brinkett. And I thought I ended up losing all the money, and then Giordano was like, "Hold my beer. I'm gonna get you back there." And instead of making probably a good amount of money, I made some money, which is always better than no money. So other than that, we can kind of get right into it. But Matt, before we get right into it, normally you tell me about something, and I'm just dying to hear.
Yeah, speaking of, making a little bit of money, let's head on over to Prize Picks and make sure you head on over there. Use promo code MMN when you sign up for Prize Picks. It's pretty simple. What you do over there is you look at their massive board. They have a board posted for almost every sport you can imagine, from baseball to golf to basketball to hockey, some esports, even got highlight on the site. So, if you're an expert in a niche sport, have at it. But what you do is you look at their board and you pick the over or the under for a given fantasy score. Now we talk about hockey. So for example, in the NHL, you get 3 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist, and a half point for a block shot and a shot on goal. If you paid attention on Monday, Chris Meany gave you 2 winners, told you to take the over on Mr. Couturier and Mr. McDavid. Each of them went out, had multi-point efforts, easily got the job done for you over on Prize Picks. Just make sure you're heading over there. Use promo code MMN when you sign up, and stay tuned to the Mayo Media Network Twitter, where we'll try and get you our favorite picks of the day for Tuesday. DJ, 2 games. Where are we starting on Tuesday?
We're going to start with Boston at the Capitals in a matchup that has absolutely no meaning whatsoever outside of for fun. Although these 2 teams will be playing each other in the first round of the playoffs. So I guess, you want to get out and get going on that, get the early look at each other. We don't have a ton of news to get to. Boston kind of played most of their guys. Taylor Hall had 2 goals on Monday night, so they'll be on a back-to-back. We saw lines in practice for the Capitals, but then after practice, Laviolette basically said, I don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play till tomorrow. So we did get power play run and everything. So, we saw a power play one for the Capitals of Carlson, Ovechkin, Backstrom, Mantha, and Wilson, which is really cool. we'll see what ends up happening. So I guess for starters, though, the over-under, we have it 5.5. It looks like it's already kind of moving up. Maybe they're thinking a lot of guys will be out, and it might just be a little bit more loose out there. So if you get it at 5.5, I do really like that a lot. I think the over is really strong there. I don't think these teams are going to be playing all their main guys. And then I would probably lean a little bit more on the Capital side at home, just because I think they're going to be playing more of their guys. And, if it's a dead even, you got Boston on a back-to-back, it just makes more sense to me to take the Capitals. So, Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's real tough on a 2-gamer to say, stay away. But it is actually kind of tough because we didn't know that Boston would have anything to play for until their game ended on Monday. Yep. Which meant they locked everything in. So we don't know if those guys are sitting. We don't know if, Ovechkin, Backstrom, Karlsson, all guys who are nursing some, ongoing injuries, but all, like you said, DJ, practice around the power play, everything like that. So, if I'm going one place in this game, which I think, is the proper thing to do, given things could change, I'm going to Anthony Mantha for a couple of reasons. The first one is, obviously, we don't know the status of Backstrom, Ovechkin, whatever. If those guys are out, then Mantha's one of the main, contributors. And if those guys are in, we actually saw Backstrom and Ovechkin playing with Mantha on a Monday at practice. So for as long as TJ Oshie misses, which hopefully, he's just out for a game and not out for any of the playoffs, but, as long as he's in that position on the top line, Anthony Mantha is, I think, one of the best plays. I like getting his goal prop as well. Like, I think that's probably where you want to go with things. But DJ, any thoughts on Mantha and, getting on board that train?
Yeah, no, I think he's a good play, no matter what happens. Like you said, there's really no downside to his game. If he's with Ovechkin, it's a really easy 2-man stack with really, really high ceiling. Both of them have been good rate shooters. Mantha, I mean, like a couple of years ago, what an unbelievable rate shooter he was. And now back in Washington, he's looked back to form in many capacities. The goals haven't been there as of late. So, get him going again before the playoffs is definitely what Washington's looking to do here. There are some guys, I do think we're going to find some like real random players that you've never heard of that might end up getting into play. I mean, a guy that we've both been on, and I think that could, especially if Ovechkin or something out, is Dylan Sprong. Not a guy that is unknown by any stretch of the imagination, but if Ovechkin is out, I do think he'll come back to that first power play. And when he was up there, I mean, man, was he shooting now? He had a 7-shot on goal and a 4-shot on goal game, both with goals in them. Then they're just like, all right, I guess we're healthy enough. You're back to no man's land. So just keep an eye on it. If you're not in the Discord with us, get in there. We literally break down everything at 6:30 to 7. It's a madhouse. If you play DFS, if you're gambling on lines, like, you're really missing out on a golden opportunity to just not miss any news for 30 minutes of your time. But if you look at these, these props, it's almost impossible to say with any level of certainty right now. But if you want to play, if you're a gambler, like you probably are, if you're doing this, and you want to just bet on a guy like Sprong to score, it's only plus 195. So you might as well wait to see what they do because it's not going to change much.
Yep. And
if just Ovi's out.
Yeah, that's really it for me. It's like if Ovechkin's in, then Sprong's not in, but Ovi's probably in your lineup if you're playing DFS or whatever. Yeah. And if Ovi's out, Sprong makes for a great bet. He's been priced up to plus 195 to score a goal. I still think that's an okay value because he's the guy getting fed on that top power play. He would get those top line minutes. Like, he's basically Ovechkin when Ovechkin's not in, which is super high praise to give to someone. But honestly, he's really earned it over the last, couple weeks without Ovi in the fold. On the Boston side, I think if you do want to look to one specific area, I'm staying away from the top line, Pasta, Marchand, Bergeron. Like, we've seen this even before the games that didn't quote unquote matter. This game absolutely does not matter. And we've seen even prior games, their minutes have been reduced. That gives more minutes to, the following lines. So I think a couple guys who could see boosts in that regard are Jake DeBrusk and Taylor Hall. Both of them play on the second power play, and they will be playing basically somewhere in the bottom 9. Unfortunately, we saw an Andre Kasha injury. Hopefully it's not a re-aggravation of his concussion issues, but, it's really tough with a guy like him and his history to expect to see him anytime soon again, which sucks. But DeBrusk could be slid up the lineup yet again. So if he plays in the top 9, he's a great value. And Taylor Hall, I mean, what more is there to say? Like on the day where Buffalo, falls apart, Taylor Hall scores another 2 goals for his new team, including the OT winner. Like it is just, I mean, it's been a picture perfect story for Taylor Hall. So I think those are the 2 guys I'm going with on the Boston side of things. Gun to head, I think I'm taking Boston on the money line. There's just too much uncertainty about this Caps team right now. But I do like the over, like you said, DJ. So anything else there before we get into the next and final game?
Yeah, right. Moving quickly. Yeah, let's just get over to it. I think this game has, it's hard to know really what these teams are going to do. The Canadian division's now locked up. I don't even think anyone can move, right? I think the 4 spots are all locked up as well. So, Vancouver, Winnipeg, this game is going on right now. I don't know if you have the score up yourselves.
Vancouver looks like they're on the way to a nice, easy win, which, how many people had that?
Not many. It's God, this game. And the thing about this game is it feels like there's a lot of value on this game. I kind of side with the Winnipeg side here, not by a substantial margin. They've been real bad as of late, but we're coming down to the final games here. I still think Winnipeg is going to be playing to try to get their head on right. I think the guys will be going. I don't really think they're going to rest a ton of people, but maybe they will. There's really just, I think you're trying to make sure the team is ready to go in the playoffs. Maybe they rest the guy like Blake Wheeler, but I kind of think they're going to be rolling out most of the guys. And if they do, then Scheifele, I think it's going to be just the top play of the night at center. I already kind of alluded to the fact that, I think we both said Bergeron's not really who I'm going to be playing. So I think it's more of like Scheifele and JT Miller, or maybe even Bo Horvat if I talk myself into it. But I think Scheifele is just kind of everything you want and more. As long as he's getting the minutes, which, unless if he doesn't play, he should probably see the minutes. He actually had a really nice night against Vancouver. He was already over 5 shots last I checked. I'm not sure if the game's not over yet, so I'm not sure where it's going to finish at. But him on the first power play with Connor, with Wheeler, with Morrissey, who we talk about quite often. I know we like him as a DFS asset most nights. He had the amazing 13 shots plus blocks night recently that broke the slate against Ottawa, and then he's kind of not had another shot on goal since. I don't know what he did tonight yet, but
the Josh Morrissey experience.
It really is a maddening experience. So what are your thoughts overall on this game? I kind of got right into the goodness of Winnipeg here, but like I said, I like the Winnipeg side.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I just think both these teams are such garbage. Until they get Nick Ehlers back, it's just been yes, people obviously know that Vancouver's been real bad all season, and then after the their COVID issue, they were not very good either. So it's not like there's anything new there. But man, it is staggering just how poor Winnipeg has been. Not only at creating goals creating expected goals, I should say, because they've struggled with that for all time. And, they just sort of beat it with shooting talent, but even the finishing talent just disappeared. And to me, that screams, Nick Ehlers, that screams, something's wrong with Blake Wheeler. Either he's old or he's hurt or both. These 2 of the worst teams in the NHL over the last 10 games in terms of generating offense. Unfortunately, I guess for my under bet, these teams aren't great defensively either, but they're actually more respectable defensively than I was anticipating. So I think for me, I'm just sort of hammering this under here. It's a gross slate again. It's not like you're getting a ton of obvious value, but I actually do think that the under here is a good bet. And of course, you got to stay tuned to this game as well, because Winnipeg could be resting guys. We just don't know. So I guess if that's in mind, maybe going Vancouver money line early and just sort of hoping for the news to fall your way, because I do think this game is more of a coin flip, 2-1 type game versus a puncher, like a heavyweight matchup of any sort. So maybe there's some value on the Vancouver side.
I do think there's value on Vancouver, but I mean, we're looking at, Winnipeg on pace for almost 40 shots on net right now. And I don't know if I'm going to talk myself out of playing some of this Winnipeg in a matchup that I just think is, I don't know if I'm obsessed with the under. Like you mentioned, the finishing ability for either of these teams is real bad. But I do think there's a lot of upside here. And I think that any way you look at it, I'm probably taking one of the goalies here. Maybe just locking in the Vancouver goalie either way, just because I think they're going to see a really good chance at the 35 shot bonus. Another guy to keep an eye on, and I'm going to wait till I see the box score, make sure I get all the news, but Vili, I want to say his last name right, Matt. You want to just make sure I say it right?
We've only got 2 games, but
Nola?
Hinola, yes. Hinola. Yep. You did it.
Yeah. It was a guy that last year kind of started the year in Winnipeg. We were really high on him. He had a really good profile to be a DFS asset. Got sent down. We didn't really see him too much this year. And then, he's kind of come back and got the minutes. He had 3 shots, 4 blocks in his last game against Ottawa. He's already up to 3 shots on net tonight when we're recording, and when you look at this yesterday. And I just think that he really does profile to be a DFS asset at minimum salary. So if you do if we end up getting the heavyweights in, and you need to find a way to get them in there, which I think is going to be a kind of a problem if we get no word that Ovi's in and all those guys. You might need to punt, and I think he's the guy. And we're breaking it down at that level right now because there's only 2 games. I believe he was slotted on the second power play last game too. Is that? Do you have that?
I don't have that up in front of me, but we can confirm that quickly. I'm going to second most everything you said there about his profile or whatever. I'm just looking at a couple of player props because, why not? I think if you can get anything on Höglander, that's probably your best source of value in this game. He's been playing just really, really well as of late. He's playing in their top 6, see how he slides around, but he's just a great rate player. I'm seeing plus 320 for a goal. I think that's, pretty substantial value out of him. So that's the one player prop area I would go with that. Do you have anything else? We sort of kicked over the rocks of Heinola, but there's really, you can get creative. I would say if you're playing DFS, you do want to leave a lot of salary on the table because there's just frankly no reason to use all of it. It's not it's so much better to be unduped in GPPs than it is to say, oh, well, I played all the best plays, because guess what? Everyone else is too, just with all the value and stuff. So I really don't have much more on these 2 games. You got to stay tuned to the news. I will plug the Morning Skate podcast Discord because that's the Discord you were talking about. Just make sure you follow, myself. I'm at Fake Moods, or you follow DJ at DJ_Mitcher94. Shoot us a DM and get on in there. You've got a great community of people talking about the NHL, even when there's only 2 games, and later this week, even when there's only 1 game. So I think that's a great way to stay involved without, having to do a ton of, reading and lifting on your own for all this news that's going to break over the next week. So, and of course, get ready for the playoffs.
They did the Iron Man thing, just watching everyone in that Discord be like, yep, I played 900 slates in a row. And I'm just like, oh my God.
We've got a bunch of sickos.
I do multiple podcasts about this, and I take days off sometimes. These people are nuts. But then Matt's like, me too. And I'm like, of course. Why did I even...
No days off.
Definitely seconding everything you say. And, like I said, this is a 2-game slate that you want to be in a Discord or just on Twitter, rapidly refreshing to figure out, because we're going to be missing a lot of news and notes. So let us know, DM us. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you want to get off? All right.
No, we're going to forego the top stacks because there's only 4 teams to pick from. But, say you're held hostage and you are freed only if the bet you select wins. What are you going for on this slate? Your favorite?
Well, obviously, this player has to play for it to happen, but I would say multi-point Scheifele.
Multi-point Scheifele.
Well, it's got to be a little bit long, like a plus, 2 point there, 1.5 if you get it, or 1+ on FanDuel, whatever you're looking at. But yeah, I think multi-point Scheifele both going to be. I don't have it right now up. Unfortunately, we don't have it, but I'm guessing. What do you think that's going to come in at?
Plus 150, plus 160, maybe about there. Yeah, I could see that.
I was thinking over 2, but 200. But okay,
that's really.
Fine.
I don't
know.
So.
I mean, he's plus 150. I guess he's so many assists. Yeah, I would say 180 is fair.
Okay, we'll see if the hostage taker sort of understands the complexity of plus odds versus minus odds or whatever. I'm going to take a simple over under. I'm going to take the over on this Boston Washington game, especially if you're getting it at 5.5. I just think that that's the place where you want to look. Of course, you have to get pieces in DFS from this other game because, it's only 2 games. But I could say with pretty good certainty right now that that'll sort of be where I'm focusing on most. And we'll get that news before the slate locks, which is obviously good to know too. So there's our two bets. Hope you guys got something out of this abbreviated episode. And yes, we did cut out 45 minutes just sobbing about the Pagulas and the Sabres and the Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart stuff.
Can I give my take really quick? Can I just give it really fast? I'll keep it under 1 minute. I promise.
Okay.
You're on the clock. Okay. The Sabres did all this work to get Taylor Hall. And afterwards, Jack Eichel was like, I am hurt. I need to get surgery on this injury in my neck. And they basically were like, sorry, can't do it. We've already put too much money into this. Can't do it. And now the Sabres don't have Eichel. They don't have Hall. And they might lose Reinhart. So congratulations. You played yourself, Terry Pagula.
He can go enjoy his super yacht off of the coast of Haiti or whatever. So, So show us a little bit of support to get us through these down Sabres times. Head on over to prizepicks.com. Use promo code MMN when you sign up. And of course, let DJ and I know that, we sent you and that you're enjoying it, So, leave a review, a rating if you're listening to this on podcast. Leave us a thumbs up if you're doing it on YouTube. And yeah, DJ, anything else before we go?
Thanks for listening. Last real regular season show on Thursday. I have a new jersey to unveil. I'm very excited about it. I wanted to wear it tonight. I think Matt knows what I'm talking about. It's freaking sweet. I'm so excited to wear it. I keep looking at it and I'm like, next time. I'm gonna wait. Not 2 games slate.
We got to keep you guys coming back. Like a 2-game slate was too exciting. We got to get to Thursday.
It's a nice jersey. I'm not mad about it. It's not.
Of course. All right, guys. We'll talk to you again on Thursday. Stay tuned tomorrow for Chris Meany and friends. It's always going to be a good show. So from DJ, from myself, we're out. Good luck, everybody.